Welcome to another exciting episode of Hope Speaks. I'm your host, Dr. Joey Kramer, upper cervical chiropractor, owner and operator of Hope Chiropractic Center here in Southlake, Texas, and I am glad to have you all back on our show. Today's topic comes from an opportunity of many conversations I've had with patients over the last month, and it's concerning our bowels and our bladder. Woo! Those are some pretty exciting subjects, especially in my house if you're hanging out with a bunch of 4-year-olds and 2-year-olds and we're exploring the opportunity of potty lessons. Super exciting, right? However, I think this conversation warrants a little more focus with regards to what we are dealing with when we start talking about the conversation and the topic of urinary incontinence, constipation. We're seeing things such as IBS, a lot of these issues surrounding most of these gut disorders that we talk about in the present day and age. I think there's a great commercial out there, and it shows a man or a woman going through a carousel, and they're like, oh my God, I don't know when I'm going to make it to the bathroom. Oh, it just passed. I don't know when I'm going to make it to the bathroom. Oh, it just passed. Something along those lines. And many times, if we have one of these issues, we A, turn to drugs, B, turn to our medical doctor, which is a great first step. Believe me, I swear, I think about this and I think to myself, man, if I have one of these issues and I didn't know what upper cervical chiropractic is, then I would probably definitely be in the medical paradigm right now, taking some type of drug to help me with whatever the ailment I'm dealing with. However, that's not you. You're here. You're on episode. I don't even know what episode we're on here of Hope Speaks, and we're going to walk us through systematically an understanding of what we deal with from a bowel and bladder perspective. Now, first of all, we need to get a great understanding of what happens and why we have IBS, why we might have urinary incontinence, why we might deal with these issues. I think a lot of the urinary side comes from prostate surgery for older men. I also see it in women, typically as they get above their 50s. Primarily it's going to be doing with our pelvic floor issues we have going on. We might be seeing some trouble with continual urinary tract infections. On the constipation side, this ranges from little kids all the way to old people. I mean, the spectrum is high. And the way that we can understand this is we have to take a dive, and we have to dive right into understanding our neurological system. And it's really fascinating to learn how we're designed, because God intelligently, when he made the human being, came into the idea that we have this balance of what we call our gas pedal and our brake pedal. And our gas pedal is called our sympathetic nervous system, and our brake pedal is called our parasympathetic nervous system. And we're supposed to work, between our gas and our brake, right? However, since we're in America and we drive in traffic, our foot is either all brake or we are all gas, one or the other. We don't really mess around with the other one too much there. So, with that being said, this warrants a system that we call our autonomic nervous system. And with our digestive and urinary tract, we focus primarily on our vagus nerve. Now, you've heard me talk about this before as we discuss our heart issues. Maybe we talk about breathing and asthma. Maybe we look at what's going on with sexual dysfunction and depression and how that's controlled by this nerve. Well, this nerve is called the wanderer, and we always remember it because it runs from the neck all the way down to your nuts. Very easy way to think about the impact this one nerve can have on your entire system. So for today's topic, it's going to be the vagus nerve as it relates to my digestive, bladder, bowels. Perfect. So in this situation, let's look at constipation to begin with. Someone who has had a trauma in their life, and I've had a few of these cases. I've had them from a quadriplegic who's been T-boned by a car to somebody who's been raped. I've had it from somebody who's had a trauma with the death of a parent. What happens is our body tends to shut down. And that's because we're moving into a depressive state. We start laying more on that brake pedal, right? And as we do that, we're not as hungry. We spend some time really affective. We're kind of flat. And our system is not digesting as efficiently. We don't see the gut motility that we need, and we end up being constipated quite frequently. Now on the flip side of things, let's go over to that gas pedal over there. We're sitting there, we're riding high on stress. We live the American dream, right? The grind. Gary Vee, he always talks about grind, 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 baby. You know, if you're not working 24 hours a day, I'm out working you and you're out there like, man, I'm all about that hustle. So let me talk to you guys. You people who are all interested in the hustle and the grind. When you hit your mid-60s and you're peeing all over yourself, we understand why this happens. It's very, very simple. This is because you're all gas pedal, and when you're all gas, you tend to burn out the muscular system, which is the sphincter control of your external urethral sphincter. And as a result of this, it's like a secondary check mechanism that you can no longer hold your urine in. And so you'll find yourself leaking or putting Kotex in your underwear, wondering what the heck happened to me and why I'm all of a sudden no longer able to get rid of all of my urine, or am I not able to hold it in so I can make it to a bathroom? So, very simple. These both show a neurological system that's gone kapow, just totally disrupted, dysautonomia. That's what we call it. So this is what we find at Hope Chiropractic Center as an upper cervical practitioner. As one, we evaluate the status of the autonomic nervous system. We want to understand if you are focusing or if you are functioning, not focusing, here I am focused on the camera, if you are functioning in a state of autonomic balance, meaning your gas pedal and your brake pedal have the ability to move frequently in and out of those states. This allows our system to move with the ebbs and flow of life. Maybe we have a little bit of stress, so we need to lay on a little bit of brake. Maybe we have a little bit of depression, so we need a little gas in our life. And that gives us that normal flow of life that we go through. However, what we tend to find is that many of you come in here and you have a disrupted or a system that is no longer in balance as it pertains to how your autonomic system functions. So, what does that mean for you, patient? It means that I can take a thermographic analysis of the heat regulatory system of the body, and it can tell me how well the top bone in your neck is positioned to informing your brain from an autonomic perspective to fire in a balanced, synchronized state. And when that is not happening, the flurry of symptoms that follow allows me to know that you are definitely in the right place. So what that shows us is that we, one, know it is a top bone neck problem. Two, we know that if we take a series of x-rays, we'll be able to determine exactly how that top bone in your neck is moving, and more importantly, how it's not. And thus the correlated deficiency to your neurological function, resulting in said symptom of urinary incontinence, constipation, or maybe one of these other IBS-like symptoms that you may suffer from. So what does that mean for you, patient? It means that if we can analyze your autonomic nervous system, if we can provide for you a value of a measure of balance in your system, we know that your constipation, your IBS, and your urinary incontinence are going to go away. It's just a matter of time. Now that's pretty fascinating to me, and it's a big sell because you're sitting here thinking to yourself, this guy is a chiropractor who tells me I have a top bone neck problem and that he's going to fix my ability to go to the bathroom. Yes, yes, and yes. Those are all three things I'm going to do, and I watch it happen in my practice every single day. I have a C3 quadriplegic right now who walks. Wait till you see this testimonial. And he came in here and he told me that he has not taken a poop in the morning in the last 2 years without the assistance of laxatives. So, he is on visit number 6. He's been adjusted 4 of the 6 times, and he came in on visit number 5 and told me he took 4 bowel movements in the morning without any assistance whatsoever. And he's actually now moving into a more regular pattern in which he can go to the bathroom at will in the morning, which is super important for him. Awesome, because for the last 2 years, his autonomic system has been totally destroyed as a result of the car wreck he was in. Cool. We're going to help him find long-term results. Number 2, I have a guy who came in and saw me, and he's been dealing with IBS for like the last 20 years. And what this has done to his life is that he's tried many things. He's gone to the doctor. They just wanted to give laxatives and try to find a way to give him another pill to make him go to the bathroom. Well, obviously that didn't work. So he went to the acupuncturist. Acupuncturist got him some great results. However, there came a point in time in which it kind of stopped working, in which I said, to myself, one, I think it was that the acupuncturist needed to have a synergistic relationship with an upper cervical chiropractor in which we took care of this patient together. Because when he came in here and he started care, the IBS went away. Unbelievable. I got a mid-60s male that I'm taking care of right now. The guy is such a wonderful person. He's a great guy to work with. He came in here and he told me that his goal was to get rid of his edema and his urinary incontinence after having the roto-rooter surgery for prostate. Man, that's not a lot of fun. So, most of the doctors will tell you that the urinary incontinence may not go away if you're a urologist. And I would say to you that actually it is going to go away if you actually return the neurological signal to the muscles of the detrusor, which will then cause you to actually be able to not have incontinence. And so, the guy finishing out his care, and he says his urinary incontinence is completely gone. He can drink gallons of water, go to bed. He used to get up and pee 5 times a night, and now he can hold it throughout the entire night, no issues. That's a life-changing mechanism for him because now his sleep is no longer disrupted, and he no longer wets the bed, and he's actually able to have a happy, healthy life. So these are some examples of what we look at when we talk about urinary incontinence, we talk about bladder issues, bowel problems, and we talk about IBS, constipation. If you are a person who is suffering from one of these disorders and you are looking for an out-of-the-box approach that isn't found in traditional chiropractic care, that is not found in medication or another form of a laxative, and you are sick and tired of dealing with these symptoms, give us a call at Hope Chiropractic Center. Heck, just give us a follow on Facebook or on Instagram and watch as our stories unfold from our tribe. Because believe me, the results we deliver will forever change your life. That's it for this episode of Hope Speaks. Remember, we covered the idea of dysautonomia, which is the gas pedal and the brake pedal. I'm going to be visiting this topic pretty much every single time we get on a conversation in our podcast or our video cast, because this is the bread and butter of understanding the basis of human neurology. And also recognize that every single nerve and your entire human body has to pass through your top bone before it can have an impact on your system. Think about it for a second. Every nerve that your brain controls and hardwires has to pass through that top bone. If that bone is misaligned, you're bound to have a symptom and a deficiency in your autonomic nervous system. Hope Speaks, Dr. Joey Kramer. Like always, I'm going to leave you guys with a few thoughts here. Number one is, if you guys have any topics you want covered, please reach out to us. Shoot us an email, admin@hopesouthlake.com. You can reach us on our website, I won't even go there. Website is hopesouthlake.com. You can check us out on Facebook at Hope Southlake, or you can even find us on Instagram at Hope Southlake. That's all of our tags. We love to hear from you guys. We love to give you information that is valuable so you can understand how, one, upper cervical chiropractic will forever change your life, two, how we can forever impact your health, and three, that something better does exist, because hope is the conduit for miracles.